There's an old man sitting on a bench, and another old man comes over to him, and he said, "You know, sir," he says, "you look about my age, about 85 years old, and I feel rotten. Everything hurts, my head, my back, my hands, and I'm just suffering in a terrible way. And what about you? How do you feel?" So the man sitting on the bench says, "Me? I feel like a newborn baby. I have no hair, I have no teeth, and I think I just wet my pants." Wait. Well, I don't know. Okay. A man goes to Italy on business, and while he's there, he meets an Italian girl, and they have an affair, and this goes on for a couple of months, and then when he's about to leave to go home, the girl tells him she's pregnant. So the man says, "Well, I'm married, and I really can't, do much for you, but I'll pay for everything you need and take care of until the child is 18 years old. But the only way I'll know that you had the baby is you have to send me a postcard, and on the postcard write the word spaghetti, and then I'll know that a baby is born." 8 months later, the postcard comes, and the wife gets the postcard, and she says to her husband, "You got this funny postcard. It says spaghetti, 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 2 with meatballs, 1 without." He puts the frog in his pocket because her dog has just died, and she's walking around looking